over and over and over again. You will hear him pronounce the Christian genocide over and over and over and over and over again. The Christian genocide on the Biafran people, the Christian genocide on the Nigerian people, the Christian genocide, the Christian genocide. He pointed Nigeria to the Christian genocide. He made it clear that we gathered in that congressional building to send a message to the US government and that they had expected this kind of event to happen to be a key to open and to break through and to destroy the terrorists that have gathered in the name of one Nigeria to destroy Christians for years. So do well to revisit the congressional briefing. Listen to Michael Rubin over and over and over again. Now, you have to think Biafra going forward. You have to dream Biafra and think Biafra in the morning. You have to think Biafra in the afternoon. You have to think Biafra at night. You have to think Biafra when you sleep and dream. You have to think Biafra and support the liberation and the diplomatic effort of Brgie for Biafra. If you do this, the sky will be our limit and we will go very far. We've achieved much with the little that we had, but we need more support from every Biafran. The door is open for every Biafran to walk in, and the window of mercy will soon close. Revive your integrity before the window of mercy closes. Reinstate and reconcile yourself with the Biafra Republic government in exile before the window of mercy elapses, because it will elapse very soon. I am pleading for support of every Biafran. If you are angry with Sonny, if you are angry with Nkere, if you are angry with Simon Ekpa, if you are angry with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if you are angry with Mazi Owazrike, if you're angry with Ikonso that even suffered and sacrificed his life for Biafra, if you're angry with Philip Effiong, if you're angry with Ojukwu, forgive all of them because they made the mistake of putting their lives on the line for you. Yes, because it's only a fool that will be angry with his or her ancestors, whereas the enemies are coming to destroy him or her, and it's only our ancestors or our father and mothers that can be his or her defense. But you are now angry with your ancestors, your father and mothers. Forgive them. I am not now saying that you should be the one to be forgiven. I am now saying that you should forgive us, because the window of mercy will soon close. Forgive us in any way that we have wronged you. Come and support your Biafra. It's not my Biafra, it's your Biafra. It's our Biafra. Come and join this Biafra now. Support it before it becomes a bigger reality because we are already making it a bigger reality. First time in history for us to have a pathway into the capital of the US Congress, the White House of America. Nigerian government officials have not had the opportunity to make through the US Capitol, talk less of organizing a congressional briefing inside the capital of the US. But the Biafran people have done this historic event and milestone under the leadership of the acting Prime Minister Nkere. The same Nkere that all of you want to stone to death. The same cabinet of Brgie under Nkere that all of you want to stone to death. The same Sonny that all of you put his name on a spike and say you must kill him, and you write all sort of nonsense. It doesn't move me. I'm not deterred, but I say thank you to every Biafran who have stood their ground to this very day. Because your attacks on us has actually emboldened us day in, day out. If you did not attack us, that means what we are doing is not creating impact. It's not touching you. But I see that a lot and a lot are touching you and you are feeling it. We see many people now making publications on the media and portraying our lobbyists. They quote how much they say we pay them for the good work that they are doing. We are not perturbed. We are happy that we have results from the lobbyists and attorney that are working for the Biafran people. That means we are delivering on the mandate of the Biafran people. If we were not delivering, you will not see results to talk about. There are results out there, and you see evidences speaking. Today, I will be opening some publications starting from BBC. BBC is the key role player in the propagation of propaganda, misinformation, misappropriation of every fact, twisting them up and down. These are the people that played a key role in the propaganda leaflet against the Biafran people from 1966 to 70s. They spearheaded the genocidal war against the Biafran people, uniting very well with Nigerian government under the auspices of UK, under Prime Minister Harold Wilson of the UK government. Today, history has made itself and repeated. That's why we say what we do in life echoes in history. And the BBC that wrote Hill of the Biafran people today can now have the boldness to pronounce that the Biafra Republic government in exile are the ones cracking Nigeria down from Washington, D.C. The barcode you see on this screen is for you to scan, and then you can easily get down to the website of BRGIA for your donations. So please, screenshot this barcode. Screenshot this barcode or this flyer you see on the screen. Send it to your friends and family. Tell them, just scan this barcode and make a donation to support the BRGIA or Biafra independence. We are not seeking for this Biafra to lord it on anybody. We are not seeking for this Biafra to enrich ourselves. We are seeking for the Biafra which is originally ours. That which was taken away from us is what we are working so hard to get back, so that integrity will be returned to the Biafran people, so that you will not have to depend on foreign aids anymore. You will not have to be crying everywhere. You will now be able to have your own and speak of your own and be able to make do with it. We appreciate all Biafrans. So please, think Biafra and live on Biafra and make it happen. I appreciate all of you. Tomorrow is the 8th of November. And One Nigeria has acclaimed that they want to turn Biafra land to Nigeria. Tomorrow is the D-Day. We call on all Biafrans from all over Biafra land and in Biafra and in Anambra, to be precise. Stay in your homes I will play a video to show you what they have stockpiled and loaded as if they are going for war in Biafra land. Nigerian terrorist government under Soludo in Anambra has marched in truckloads of whatever they called in the name of armory in Biafra land. And we are promising them that they will not get one Biafran to kill. Yes, they will only kill the people that have decided to be scapegoats to them. We have been warning and calling on Biafrans that you have to stay in your houses. Do not go out to participate in any election of one Nigeria in Biafra land. You voted to exit Nigeria. Your Prime Minister of Brgie is imprisoned because of asking for your freedom. The people that imprisoned him and made it possible for him to be in prison are the Igbo politicians. The same people that are organizing the Anambra fraudulent elections. Will you be very stupid to participate in any shambolic elections that has caused the lives of your babies, women, and children, and has imprisoned your leaders? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped because of seeking for your freedom. These same evil politicians, they connive and made sure he was kidnapped. Today, he was in court. You saw him wailing in court. What can you do to help him? It is to boycott Nigeria terrorist elections, to show that you do not agree with them. Participating in anything one Nigeria, especially election, is validating their continuous detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. When you participate, you are telling Nigeria that they should continue to detain Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that you are not ready for Biafra. The best message you speak is to stay away, very, very far away, thousands and kilometers away from the premises where the elections of one Nigeria is ongoing in Anambra. That is what you have to do. And if you did not get the message before now, then that means you've not been listening, because this flyer has been circulating everywhere for the past 1 month now. No Anambra elections in Biafra land. Tomorrow will be brutal, and we continue to call on Biafrans to stay off the streets, stay off everywhere where there is presence of one Nigeria Anambra elections. Stay clear. Allow them to fight the fight with the spirit and the angels of God. Allow them to fight the fight with those that God have sent to answer them in miraculous ways. Do not show up in any election ground, because the structural engineers will be everywhere to restructure some structures in Anambra tomorrow, being the 8th of November 2025. Every Biafran should adhere to these instructions. and take it very, very kindly, because we have lost too many people. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in detention because of asking for your freedom. I see no reason why you will abandon him and you go to sing the praises of one Nigeria. Stay in your houses. Don't become a scapegoat. Make the work easy for the defense forces of Biafra to protect you in your homes. Don't make the work difficult for them. Election of one Nigeria is not where you have to be. You have rejected Nigeria in totality, and you will continue to do so. The Boko Haram terrorists are having meetings with Nigerian terrorist government. But what happens to these terrorist governors that you have in Biafra land? They are the people that proscribe you as a terrorist organization. But these same governors and ministers and senators, they could not proscribe the Boko Haram terrorists. Instead, what they did was that they signed contract with Boko Haram terrorists, and the Boko Haram terrorists can now receive over 100 billions of naira on a contract base of every 2 years. Boko Haram terrorists did not come to Biafra land to proscribe you. The federal government of Nigeria did not come to Biafra land to proscribe you. Who proscribed you? It was these terrorist criminals that call themselves governors. By the time you now continue to go to validate them, it means your brain cells are not working. Do you see any Kaduna or Hausa or Yoruba or Middle Belton governor here calling you a terrorist organization or proscribing you? No. The people you saw here proscribing you are your Igbo politicians, the ones that have become slaves to the Nigerian terrorist government. Today, you see that in the wake of events, while Donald Trump and the American lawmakers are asking for accountability from the Nigerian leaders, what you see that is happening is that all the northern elite, they are waking up to fight back and to push back against the Christian genocide characterization. But what do you get from your own governors and ministers? What you got from your own governors and ministers is that they are the people that proscribe you. They say you are terrorists. But when you look around today, you see that the northern governors and elite, they are the people protecting the integrity of the terrorists. They are telling you that you cannot clamp down on the terrorists. They are telling you that there is no Christian genocide. I want all of you to reason and understand something. When Akpabio was in the Senate, with the Senate chambers, even today, I have come across another video where Akpabio has also stopped the senators from commenting on Donald Trump again. And some people don't get the message. Akpabio is a Biafran, and he's trying to protect where he comes from. But the Northerners are telling you, you have to talk about this matter.
must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Everybody, this is Judd Saul with Equipping the Persecuted. I'm the executive director. And I just want to bring attention to a situation that our team has come across in Nigeria. It's hard for me to put it into words, what we've run into. Our team got a call of a group of Christians that needed immediate aid. And we found out that these are people who had been ransomed out from a terrorist camp. And what's happening is Fulani Muslim terrorists frequently kidnap people and ransom them out. And many times if they don't pay ransom, a lot of them are killed. But a lot of people never ask the question, what happens to Christians if they're not ransomed out of these camps? Well, we've discovered a camp run by Fulani Muslim terrorists where Christian children, men, women are being starved to death. They're being beat and tortured on a daily basis. And a group of these victims have been ransomed out, and they came out looking like Holocaust survivors. The situation was absolutely horrendous. And we immediately deployed aid and resources to bring them back to health, cover any medical costs. And they are so traumatized, we're having people come alongside them to help them through all this trauma, to just digest everything that happened. We've got a little boy that watched his brother starve to death. We've got another kid who watched his two brothers be killed in front of them in the camp. And these are at the hands of radical Fulani Muslim terrorists. And we know there's 200 people still in this camp. This camp hasn't been liberated, and we have reason to believe that the Nigerian government knows that this camp exists because this camp is close to a military base in Kachia, Nigeria. Now, I'm trying to raise as much attention and awareness on this as possible so we can once and for all try to put an end to persecution in Nigeria, to raise awareness and tell the Nigerian government enough is enough. Protect your own citizens. Stop this madness. And I'm calling on the U.S. government and any other foreign government to lay pressure on Nigeria until they can start protecting its own citizens. Our mission has been on the ground there for 4 years. I've seen death. I've seen horrible things. But this is just beyond horrendous and awful. Still, last year, over 5,000 Christians were killed. There's still well over 3 million Christians who have been removed from their homes, living in camps. But then on top of it all, they're going in and they're kidnapping Christians and torturing them and starving them to death. So I'm calling on everybody that sees this video. Please visit our website, support our mission so we can continue to help fight the persecution, so we can help stop the persecution of Christians in Nigeria, and we can come to the aid of those that are in need, but also take action. Call your congressman, call your senator, call your governor, anybody you can talk to raise awareness about this situation so we can put a stop to this. But we can't put a stop to it if we ignore it. We can't put a stop to it if the Christian media ignores what's going on in Nigeria, and we can't stop this if the mainstream media ignores what's going on in Nigeria. I'm getting really tired of mainstream media and people saying that Christian persecution doesn't exist, and it's just tribal conflict. That's baloney. It's malarkey. They are full of, I'm a Christian and I can't say the words I want to say. But let me tell you that we can do something about this with your help. And hey, everybody, this is Judd Saul with Equipping the Persecuted. I'm the executive director. And I just want to bring attention to a situation that our team has come across in Nigeria. It's hard for me to put it into words, what we've run into. Our team got a call of a group of Christians that needed immediate aid. And we found out that these are people who had been ransomed out from a terrorist camp. And what's happening is Fulani Muslim terrorists frequently kidnap people and ransom them out. And many times if they don't pay ransom, a lot of them are killed. But a lot of people never ask the question, what happens to Christians if they're not ransomed out of these camps? Well, we've discovered a camp run by Fulani Muslim terrorists where Christian children, men, women are being starved to death. They're being beat and tortured on a daily basis. And a group of these victims have been ransomed out, and they came out looking like Holocaust survivors. The situation was absolutely horrendous. And we immediately deployed aid and resources to bring them back to health, cover any medical costs. And they are so traumatized, we're having people come alongside them to help them through all this trauma, to just digest everything that happened. We've got a little boy that watched his brother starve to death. We've got another kid who watched his two brothers be killed in front of them in the camp. And these are at the hands of radical Fulani Muslim terrorists. And we know there's 200 people still in this camp. This camp hasn't been liberated, and we have reason to believe that the Nigerian government knows that this camp exists because this camp is close to a military base in Kachia, Nigeria. Now, I'm trying to raise as much attention and awareness on this as possible so we can once and for all try to put an end to persecution in Nigeria, to raise awareness and to tell the Nigerian government enough is enough. Protect your own citizens. Stop this madness. And I'm calling on the U.S. government and any other foreign government to lay pressure on Nigeria until they can start protecting its own citizens. Our mission has been on the ground there for 4 years. I've seen death. I've seen horrible things. But this is just beyond horrendous and awful. Still, last year, over 5,000 Christians were killed. There's still well over 3 million Christians who have been removed from their homes living in camps. But then on top of it all, they're going in and they're kidnapping Christians and torturing them and starving them to death. So I'm calling on everybody that sees this video. Please visit our website, support our mission so we can continue to help fight the persecution, so we can help stop the persecution of Christians in Nigeria.
He was calling on everyone to support them to see to the end of the Christian genocide. And today, a bigger way of help has emerged. Donald Trump has swayed in through the compulsion and the work of the Biafra Republic government in exile and the senators and reps and the lawmakers of America. So he was asking you to throw in financial support so that they can be able to do more because they happen to be kind of an NGO. So as a Biafran, this man here is a foreigner who is actually asking you for financial support for them to be able to look into those that have been massacred and sent out of their homes, which the government of Nigeria do nothing about it. Have you guys ever checked on the internally displaced homes, the IDP camps? of Nigeria to see that it looks like where, I think even where they keep chicken and horses and camels are far better than the high DP camps where Nigeria provide for human beings. They use tarpaulin to wrap around like this. They put sticks and they use tarpaulin to wrap around. Then you are sleeping on the floor. Cold, they enter your body. While the terrorists that came into your lands now go and take your homes. And the government of the day claps for them and they cannot do anything because they are working with the terrorists. Boko Haram terrorists do this. And foreigners are even the one that is coming to your aid. While the politicians that you fought to go into power pays these terrorists to carry out this very act. How many of you are aware that the federal government of Nigeria are actually paying these terrorists to carry out these ignominious crimes against humanity?
The federal government, led by the Minister of Interior Abdulrahman Dambazo, met with the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria in Kebbi State, offering them the sum of 100 billion naira over 2 years to stop the kidnapping in the country. The meeting lasted over 4 hours on Friday as negotiations dragged on, with the association initially asking for 160 billion naira. The minister said that the strategy was part of the steps needed to tackle insecurity in the country as prescribed by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The herdsman crisis has risen since 2015 after Muhammadu Buhari became president. Their rampage has spread not only in the north but also throughout the southern zones of the country. The killings by the herdsmen has led them to be tagged the fourth most dangerous and deadly terrorist group in the world by the World Terror Index. The acting Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, who was also at the meeting in Kebbi State, added that over 1,000 people have been killed and many more kidnapped in Kaduna. However, he said that this intervention was necessary to bring the criminals to book. The Kebbi State Governor Atiku Bagudu said hosting the meeting in his state shows the seriousness of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration in tackling the security challenges in the country. Responding, the president of the association, Alhaji Muhammad Kirua, said the meeting would serve as a foundation for peace between the Fulani herdsmen and farmers and among Fulanis themselves. Roots TV, Nigeria. Met with the Miyetti Allah Cattle led by the minister.
You are being paid 100 billion naira on a contract basis to kidnap Christians and to massacre Christians and to commit Christian genocide. And the contract is to be renewed every 2 years. This is how they breed the terrorists that you see today. And what do the politicians of Igbo land do? This is what they are known for and what they are very good at. Listen to them. For those of you that want to go and vote for Igbo politicians tomorrow, listen to them. Oh, this pronouncement is not coming from Kafanchan. The message that they are going to give you now is not coming from Yoruba land. The proscription of IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, of whom they themselves are also indigenous people of Biafra. All these foolish and idiotic elements here that was given to bed by slave people, they are all indigenous persons of Biafra. And they came out to proscribe their children, including themselves. After proscribing the indigenous people of Biafra and handing over to one Nigeria terrorist to kill, they now expect that the same one Nigeria will give them opportunity to become Igbo presidency. Chineke na for all of you. Because that Igbo presidency, you cannot see it till you die. You can never see that Igbo presidency till you die. For as far as you sell out all your children in the name of policing Fulani terrorists so that you can become Igbo presidency. That Igbo presidency, you can never see till you die. Generations upon generations will come, you will not see that Igbo presidency. Because Nigeria has become X now. Nigeria has been dissolved and destroyed already. We are just waiting for the final division on the table. That is what we are waiting for, and we are doing it gradually. It's a gradual process. Yes, we have taken it to the point that world leaders are seeing the dangerous and the destructive diversity in Nigeria. They have seen how volatile Nigeria has become, that even babies are not safe in Nigeria. Go to the Information Media and Communications official Twitter page. You will see a lifeless body of babies, lifeless bodies of babies who have been butchered in the belly. You will see how the terrorists invade homes and use knives to cut off heads of babies, cut off the bellies of babies. What is the crime of a baby of under 1 year to a Fulani terrorist? What crime did that baby commit? Even if a mother or father has committed a crime on this planet Earth, what crime has a baby that is not up to 1 year committed? A suckling child who is breastfeeding from the mother's breast. A knife was put on the neck and in the throat of that baby and slitted. A knife was also put through the belly of that baby and it was torn into two. You saw the intestine of a baby floating out. This is not something that happened 5 years ago. This is a recent track record. Go to the Information Media and Communications handle of the Biafra Republic government in Israel. You will see this video posted there. You see the rest of them in the hospital. You see lifeless bodies of babies that have been cut to pieces. I thank Elon Musk for allowing Twitter X for us to post everything raw, the raw evidences of the genocide. The terrorists that commit these crimes are being paid by the Nigerian terrorist government. A contract is signed for 2 years. And then, the only way, even the commissioner of police or the inspector general of police affirmed that the modus operandi or the way and manner they are engaging the terrorists is good by paying them money. And he opened his mouth to confess that, oh, over 1,000 Christians have been massacred by these same terrorist groups. But yet he advocates and then applauds the payment of 1 billion naira as a contract fee to the terrorists. Look at him here. The Inspector General of Police said the terrorist has been tagged as the 4th most dangerous terrorist on planet Earth. And then they now applaud the same terrorists for killing over thousands. And then they now applaud a contract of 100 billion naira to be paid to the terrorists. This is the same idiot that is going after Omoyele Sowore because of speaking up against the genocide and the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, telling them to release him now. They're now looking for Omoyele Sowore to arrest and lock up and kill because he is speaking up. You know, when you speak up in Nigeria, you become endangered species. They just love you, keep quiet as they massacre, they share the money, they make everything to go round. Then you just stay like zombie. You'll be looking at them. Rather, you clap for them for the genocide that they are committing. You tell them, yes, you guys are doing well. Continue to do more. I applaud all of you. It's good. But what do you get from Igbo terrorist politicians? What you get from them is that they are actually the ones that are pronouncing you as terrorist. So if you are a Biafran and you are resident in Anambra, or whether you are not a Biafran but you are resident in Anambra and you are validating anything Anambra elections in Nigeria or in Biafra land, please pack your load and start living, because you're not worthy to be talking from wherever you are. Because Boko Haram are protesting and protecting the existence of the Boko Haram terrorists today, as they heard that Donald Trump and the military forces of America are coming to crush the terrorists. But what do you hear from our own elders and leaders? Listen to them.
These governors hereby resolve as follows. One, all activities of IPOB are hereby prescribed. IPOB and all other agreed groups are advised to articulate.
The Southeast governors met yesterday and resolved as follows. All activities of IPOB are hereby proscribed. What that means is that all activities, that means you cannot gather for a meeting, anything under the name of IPOB. More so, the federal government, I think 2 days ago, has now classified, just like they did for Boko Haram, they now classified IPOB as a terrorist organization.
To fly around and see whether there are gatherings of cows or anything. Then we send the Bietiala, who is my staff. The Bietiala is the government of another president. You know, to go to those.
Same way as the Sultan spoke. Any Igbo man who touches a northerner in Igbo land should first kill John Nyawo.
Onye masisi wetakwa aya n'obodo a mụ abụ nne nwodo ga-awụsa otu a.
Stand here and keep here. It won't happen to leaders from other parts of the country. We are not happy about it. We are not happy about it.
After they disgraced themselves, this is how they went to Abuja High Court, and they were not even allowed entrance to the court. They treated them like nuisance. They blocked them from entry because they have no relevance. They have sold their integrity. They have sold their own children. They have proscribed their children and sold out to be eliminated. These are the people behind the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And tomorrow, many of you are rushing to where? To go and do election. There is no elections of one Nigeria in Biafra land. Get it very well. Now, do you know why they wanted to kill Akpabio inside the Senate chambers? The Northerners have always protected their terrorists. And the Biafran politicians have always sold out their Biafran leaders. And in this very scenario, Akpabio is trying to stop them from bringing the matter of Donald Trump into the Senate discussion. They say, no, you must be the one to carry it. We have to talk about it here. But these people have never for once brought the Boko Haram terrorists matter to be discussed here and to be eliminated. No. They have never for once decided that they must bring the Boko Haram matter, that they must discuss here and see that they eliminate the Boko Haram. Anytime that discussion sparks up in the Senate, the northern terrorist politicians, they will block that motion. And now they want to use Akpabio to spark the motion about Donald Trump sending the American military personnel to come and crush the terrorists. They have now changed the narrative from coming to crush the terrorists to invading Nigeria. And they want Akpabio to be the one to start the narrative. When you look at what is happening in the Senate, just watch and see what is happening.
Breaking news should not break the society. But a situation where somebody will sit in the comfort of his room and produce a report, produce fake pictures of 2023, when the Senate President with senators visited Port Harcourt on a very different thing, and say, oh, Senate President answers President Trump. Who am I to answer President Trump? Have you ever heard of such a thing? And the Senate President said that Nigerians are not complaining, that we like the way we are living. I can deal with it, but then that the Nigerians are not complaining. I have petitioned the police. I've also petitioned the DSS. The comment is in order. You are not hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying this time, the Senate President of Nigeria did not answer President Trump. And then that the quotation is meant to go diplomatic row. It is the presidency that will answer President Trump. And all Nigerians are doing their best in that direction. But who is that person that will go and ascribe a comment to the Senate President when he was never met? So I believe the cyber crimes unit of the police, the DSS and others should find that character out, because it is meant to cause friction. It is meant to cause friction and put the Nigerian Senate in disrepute. I can only speak your voice. We have not discussed the comment of President Trump in chambers yet. I know we will. And I believe we will. Those in support that we should in future discuss this comment, say aye. Those again say no. We shall. It's only then that the Senate President can make a comment. Not somebody sitting in his bedroom to talk nonsense.
Mr. President, Nigeria is a sovereign nation.
In this case, I did not say my mind.
Don't be scared. I can say
I said
Yes, the Fulani terrorists, politicians, the northern terrorist politicians, they want Akpabio to start the fire against American military coming to crush the Boko Haram terrorists. I want everybody to understand what is happening here. Think out of the box. I am not here praising Akpabio. Akpabio is the most corrupt of all the senators in this place. But I want all of you to understand something. Akpabio is the one leading all the Biafran politicians here against Biafra. Yes. Do you remember when I played a video where the Senate leader, Senator Osita Isunasu, said, Mr. President, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa is not curtailed, the entire Nigerian will come to understand that the reality of the Biafran people of what they have been saying against Nigeria is real. Let me get the video and play for some of you that are not aware, so that you will understand. So,
Mr. President,
Akpabio is the one leading all these Biafran politicians here. All of them are Igbo politicians. So if he is the Senate president, is the one leading all of them against Biafra. So don't misquote me, because some of you are myopic in thinking. You don't hate Akpabio like I do. You don't hate Osita Isonacho as I do, because of their hatred for this Biafra, because of their interest of one Nigeria. Listen to Osita.
Mr. President, the Senate is worried that if the activities of Simon Ekpa, who is issuing the illegal sit-at-home order, is not checked, he may succeed in corrupting the minds of Nigerian youths and turning them against the government of Nigeria. Accordingly, the Senate resolved to condemn the sit-at-home in totality, as well as the nefarious activities of Simon Ekpa, who is the gang leader.
Point of order, the leader of the Senate.
After Senator Osita spoke, who said point of order, the leader of the Senate? It was Akpabio, right? Now, did you see an Hausa man or Yoruba man or a Fulani man raising the motion of the sit-at-home must be stopped? That the narrative of Biafra or Biafra Republic government in Nigeria must be stopped? It is the Igbo politicians that raise it, the Biafran politicians, right? Now, let us come back to Akpabio inside the Senate now with the deputy Senate president. The Fulani man stood up to tell Akpabio, it is time that you carry out this narrative of Donald Trump is coming to invade Nigeria. That is what he wants Akpabio to do. But you have not seen this same deputy Senate president before rise up in this Senate and raise a motion that the Nigerian terrorist army must go and crush all the Boko Harams. No, they have never brought it down and sit down to make 1 week or two to discuss about it and to make a decisive decision. No, you cannot say it. So on this other screen, you see 100 billion naira is to be paid to the Boko Haram terrorists on every 2-year contract so that they continue to do the kidnapping. On this other screen, you see Igbo politicians, the Senate leader and the Senate president, all of them Igbo. What are they calling for? They are calling for Biafra to be destroyed. Then on this other side, you see the Senate president now being dragged to be the one to use his mouth to pronounce that Donald Trump is not coming for the Boko Haram, that is coming to invade Nigeria and to kill Nigerians. That is what they want him to say. And then the deputy Senate president, a Boko Haram Fulani sect extract, is trying to force it on him, to tell him, pronounce it. Pronounce it. He doesn't want to be the one. He wants him to be the one to pronounce it, so that it will be on record that the Senate president of Nigeria said, oh, Donald Trump, you are coming to kill Nigerians. Instead of Donald Trump is coming for the Boko Haram terrorists. When America went to drop bomb in the Iranian nuclear weapon depot, when this Israeli war was ongoing, did they go and kill the indigenous people of Iran? No. They went straight to the target point. They went to where the terrorists are embedded, where they have to destroy their weapon plants. But this Boko Haram Fulani deputy Senate president now, he wants the Senate president Akpabio of Nigeria to use his mouth and defame the narrative that Donald Trump and American government are not coming for the Boko Haram, that they are coming to invade Nigeria. Do you know what invasion means? Invasion means just like the Boko Haram terrorists invade your communities and then they wipe you out without you doing anything. Just like the Hamas terrorists woke up, invaded Israel, and then wiped out babies, women, and children. Donald Trump never said he is going to invade Nigeria. Donald Trump is specific of where he's going. The American military are going for the terrorists that have killed and wiped out Biafrans and Christians. That is the sole aim of the American military, going to invade the Boko Haram terrorists. They are not coming to invade Nigeria. They are going to invade the Boko Haram terrorists. Yesterday, I made an illustration here to ask all of you, why is it that you have been crying and say, oh, Christians have been massacred? Now, the Christian issue has been taken to Washington, D.C. And then Washington, D.C. want to act. You now change the narrative. Oh, it's not only Christian, it's not Christian, it's now Muslim. Okay, let us now come to irrational thinking. If you now say, okay, he's not Christian, he's not Muslim, he's both, then now Donald Trump is not coming for the Christian or the Muslims. He's coming for the terrorists. Why are you now angry that the terrorists are to be eliminated? Why? Why are you angry that the terrorists are to be eliminated? Whereas the terrorists are the prime suspect here, eliminating the Christians and the Muslims according to you. So why are you now angry that the terrorists are to be eliminated? So you rather prefer that the Christians and the Muslims, as you have acclaimed, which you have twisted the story, those are the ones you want to be eliminated, while the Boko Haram terrorists will continue to be rehabilitated and reintegrated into the Nigerian army military formations. Which country rehabilitate Boko Haram or terrorists and then put them back into their military formation? Have you ever heard that America rehabilitate terrorists and put inside their military formations? Have you ever heard such that Israel rehabilitate the Hamas terrorists and then put them inside their military formations? No. In Nigeria, that elephants are flying. It is only in Nigeria that monkey will swallow money. It is only in Nigeria that a snake will fly with wings. It is only in Nigeria that snake will enter fire and fire will not burn snake. And they will tell you that snake is immune to fire because it is happening in Nigeria. Tomorrow is sit at home. No Anambra elections in Biafra land. And we are calling on all of you to remember this. We are also calling on all Biafrans to come out en masse and support their Biafra freedom. Biafra Republic governments in exile have done great in Washington, D.C. The BDF it, and now is the time for you to amplify their effort. Come and join the fundraising and make it a memorable one. Thank you so much. If you are going to support One Nigeria, Soludo will kill you tomorrow. And then they will use you to do publicity. This is what Soludo will do you tomorrow. This is how they will kill you tomorrow if you don't hear word and stay in your house. These are the artillery that they have brought to stockpile and block everywhere in the name of election, while Boko Haram terrorists are killing many of you in Nigeria. And it is because of the killings that has made Donald Trump and the lawmakers of America to speak. Now look at the artillery that they have brought. Now, this is how they want to militarize everywhere tomorrow, and even starting from yesterday and today. And we are calling on all of you and reminding you that you do not need to go and waste your life. Yes, you don't need to go and waste your life in the name of Nigeria. Stay in your houses tomorrow. Stay in your houses and stay away from anything one Nigeria elections. If you have ear, hear and listen to what the message is saying. Stay in your house and be alive to see the next day, because one Nigerian terrorist, they are looking for people that they will use to do sacrifice. The Nigerian terrorists have never done you any good and will not start doing you any good now. If you know what is good for you, stay back in your houses. Now, these are Boko Haram terrorists that are being paid and sponsored by Nigerian government. You saw from this other video here, the contract Nigerian government have with them is over 100 billion naira, repayable every 2 years. Now, this is a terrorist that is now addressing Nigerian government and addressing the community. You can see how many magazines that are on his body. And all the people you see here standing all around him are part and parcel of his group. The governors of the East, they cannot go after these terrorists, but they can proscribe the Biafran people. They can kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and hand over to Nigeria. Kanunta, Emmanuel Kanu, Ejiofor, and Uchechi Kanu, they can write letter with IPOBDOS and send it to the European Commission to imprison Simon Ekpa because he is talking for your freedom. But they cannot send the same letter and petition the same European Commission to stop the Boko Haram terrorists that are coming to kill all of you. Let us listen to Sheikh Gumi. Sheikh Gumi will explain to you that this massacre that they are carrying out,
let me tell you one,
that they are mandated in their booklet that they should kill you. Listen to Sheikh Gumi. He said, let me tell you one thing. Listen, listen very well. You're going to hear what Sheikh Gumi will tell you. While the Igbo politicians are killing Biafrans because of Biafra independence, listen to Sheikh Gumi.
You see, I don't think any of you is versed in Islamic studies. You know, prophecies. We have a prophecy in the books of the Hadith. They are written. The Prophet ﷺ, peace be upon him, said, in the end of times, there will be youthful children coming out in the name of Islam, killing people. This is exactly mentioned in the Hadith. Okay. So it's an evil to us, camouflaging as Muslims. And let me tell you one thing, even that, like Trump and his white supremacists are having problem in America. It's not all Americans are accepting what they are doing.
Sorry, Sheikh.
Wait. every religion you have this extremist. Trump is just an example of this terrorist. Look at Netanyahu, the Jewish. Many Jews are against what he's doing, the genocide in Gaza. So even we Muslims, who you have such extremists. Let me tell you one thing. You see, I don't think any of you is versed in Islamic studies. You know, prophecies. We have a prophecy in the books of the Hadith. Is there written? The Prophet ﷺ, peace be upon him, said, in the end of times, there will be youthful children coming out in the name of Islam, killing people. This is exactly mentioned.
This is exactly mentioned and is affirmative. So they have a backing from their teaching booklet to validate the Christian genocide. As they are killing you, is validating it with their Christian booklet, their religious booklet, telling you that it is written that they must wipe you out. It's not mincing words. Now, where are the Igbo politicians? And what is also written in your own pamphlet? In your own pamphlet, it is written that you must eliminate IPOB, right? You must eliminate Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. You must eliminate Biafrans as Igbo politician. While in Gumi pamphlet, it is written that they must come and eliminate the Christians. And can you show me any Christian terrorist that is going about killing the people of a Gumi sect or his own family group that they say it is part of their booklet and teachings that they must come and kill you? Can you show me one Christian that is a terrorist that is going to go and kill the people of Gumi? Can you show me one? No. The IPOB that Igbo politicians proscribe them as terrorists, have they killed and have they raped or invaded any community? Have they taken any community away from people and raped women and children and killed all of them and cut babies' head to pieces? Has there been any? No, you cannot give me any, right? Now, do you see how foolish it is to identify with the Igbo idiotic politicians? For those of you that want to go and vote for them, you better stay in your houses because you are as stupid as the people that you are going to vote for. There is no election of one Nigeria in Anambra. Stay in your houses. Stay in your houses. Make you no go carry Igbeze for head. Stay in your houses, oh. Tomorrow will be brutal, oh. Stay in your houses. Stay in your houses. Now, Gumi said that Donald Trump is using white supremacists to come and invade Nigeria because that is what they have changed the narrative to. The media team, I had informed people before that you will be hearing this narrative that the American government coming to save your lives as Christians in Nigeria, that they will turn it to become American government invading Nigeria. I told you that you should be prepared. That is going to come, and you can hear it now. So you know how to push it back in the media. So you can see it now where and how they have twisted the old story to the brains of the Nigerians. And a low life now will now be carried or misguided with the narrative the way they have put it, not knowing that they have misinterpreted everything. The American military are coming to save you, you Christian, you that your babies, women, and children and your communities were wiped out. You that have not been able to feel the dividends of democracy. You that claim that there is oil and gas in your community, but you cannot feel what they use that oil and gas to do in development or in structures or in construction or in company or in even the school that you should find yourself. You that don't have a feel of anything that is happening in Nigeria and you see yourself as a nobody. The American government is coming to ask for accountability and to crush the physical terrorists that have wiped out communities for years since 2002. American military are coming for those terrorists. American military are not coming for you. They are not invading Nigeria. They're not coming to your homes and your families. They're not coming to your business places. They're not coming to your schools. They're not coming to your churches. They are going after the terrorists that have massacred your women, babies, and children on a daily basis. There are gory images that we cannot show here, but you go to Twitter page, you will see it on the Information Media and Communications official page. You will see dead body of a baby that they use knife to cut on the belly, a baby that they use knife to cut on the neck, a baby that they butcher the head into pieces. Done by who? Done by this same terrorist that this man here is defending. Now, I've also seen another video where some of you say, oh, Donald Trump is coming to invade Nigeria. But you change the narrative totally from where it was and to where it shouldn't be. Now, how many of you know that the American government have for years trained the Nigerian military personnel, the Air Force and the Navy, and given them everything needed to crush the Boko Haram terrorists and all the terrorists that are available in Nigeria, which the numbers have grown up to 22 numbers. How many of you know that American government have given Nigeria the aid, have given Nigeria the logistics, have even trained Nigerian personnel, and have given them the support to crush the Nigerian Boko Haram terrorists and all the terrorists available there for years, and they refuse to destroy them. They channel all these logistics that the American government gives to them and the training, they channel it to spearhead the Boko Haram terrorists, to use them to invade and overtake Nigeria. How many of you are aware of it? You're not aware. Let me play one video first before I go to the main video that will explain something better. Yes, you're not aware because you don't follow up many things and you don't go and make research as well. These are the sacrifices that America has made for years. So when you now see America say, enough is enough, you should now understand that it is not time. It is not time to continue again to pamper the Nigerian terrorist government, because the numbers of babies, women, and children massacred for years has been too much. And the American government had waited for the Nigerian terrorist government to do the right thing. They gave them all the logistics, they gave them all the training, they now waited for them to eliminate the terrorists. They refuse. They refuse to eliminate the terrorists. They refuse to eliminate the terrorists. Instead, they continue to be assisting the terrorists. They use the terrorists to kill the indigenous people. Many of the terrorist invasion that happens in communities happens very close to where there is a military checkpoint. That means the military collaborate with them. They share intels. They only come after the terrorists have massacred the people and the place is laid bare. They now come and pack the casualties. That means supervision of the attack, but not to help it out. Listen to something before we go to the next video.
Mop up one area in the south was the start, and after that was done, mop up in the north. The division would follow behind, occupied terrain. We would train the division in situ in defensive positions, etc., but we were never allowed to execute the entire operation. So in 1 month, we took back terrain larger than Belgium from Boko Haram. We were not allowed to finish because it came at a time when governments were in the process of changing. I think President Jonathan's government possibly saw the entire Boko Haram contract, if we call it that, almost as a last gasp in order to regain popularity. The incoming president, President Buhari, was heavily supported by a foreign government, and one of the first missions was to terminate our contract.
Could you name that foreign government?
Yes, we were told it was the United States, and they had actually funded President Buhari's campaign. The campaign manager for President Buhari came from the US, and I'm not saying that the United States is bad. I understand foreign interests, but I would have thought that a threat such as Boko Haram on the integrity of the state of Nigeria ought to be actually a priority. It wasn't.
Why do you think the US would intervene to abort such operation?
Again, I can't answer that. I think that the US can answer, but what I've come to realize, that is when a government's foreign interests clash with the state's own domestic interests, conflict is bound to ensue. And those conflicts usually just continue with no end. And we can look at all the conflicts in Africa where foreign forces have come in, they've prolonged those conflicts, they haven't ended those conflicts. And the amount of money and manpower and equipment thrown at those conflicts says to me that something is wrong if no end result is achieved. And surely that end result should be to end the conflict and establish a basis for negotiations, come to an agreement, and then re-establish governance. But that's not what's happening in Africa.
How much did you charge the Nigerian government?
Well, first of all, we didn't charge the Nigerian government. And I think here that is a question the Nigerian government can answer. We were one subcontractor to another.
We did not charge the government, first of all. And then Obama's government did what? Stop the elimination of the Boko Haram terrorists. And then they now use the same Boko Haram to destabilize Goodluck Jonathan Ren, to bring in Buhari. This man said, at first, we did not charge. Let me play that place again.
Surely that end result should be to end the conflict and establish a basis for negotiations, come to an agreement, and then re-establish governance. But that's not what's happening in Africa.
How much did you charge the Nigerian government?
Well, first of all, we didn't charge the Nigerian government.
But first, we didn't charge the Nigerian government. They came to offer services because of the same cry of Christians being slaughtered, Christian genocide. So they came to save all of you. Just like you see the Donald Trump government today coming. Do you think that Nigerian government are charging the American government to come and eliminate the Boko Haram terrorists for you? No. They did not charge them to come and eliminate the terrorists for you. They are coming because of the outcry of the indigenous people. They are coming because of what you and I have done. They are coming because we wake them up from sleep. So the Nigerian government stopped these contractors from eliminating the Boko Haram terrorists. so that they can eliminate all of you. That is why yesterday I asked a question. Is it only Donald Trump that sees the terrorists in Nigeria? Is it only Donald Trump that sees the terrorists in Nigeria? Obama was a president, and then he did not fight to eliminate the terrorists for you. Rather, he fought for the terrorists to continue to exist. Joe Biden came. He fought for the terrorists to continue to exist. How did he do it? While Donald Trump put Nigeria on the watch list because of killing Christians and every other person, Obama came, removed them. And where did he remove them and how? He removed them immediately. Nigeria committed another international crime of kidnapping mass in Nnamdi Kanu. The numbers of the massacre and violations of Christians and every other religion increase on the system. Obama has come back again, and this time he wants to come and crush the terrorists all inside Nigeria, and all of you are crying. And they deceive all of you. They use Nigerian television, they use Nigerian radio, and change the narrative that Donald Trump is coming to invade Nigeria. That is not coming for a terrorist. He wants to come and take Nigeria. He wants to come and take Nigeria oil and gas. Did Donald Trump tell you that he is hungry of your oil and gas? Donald Trump is the only man now that has the courage to come and crush the terrorists. Obama rather stop you from crushing the terrorists. Joe Biden stop you from crushing the terrorists. It's only Obama. It's only Donald Trump. It's only Donald Trump that is ready and coming to crush the terrorists. Who is your savior now? Who is the person that has your interest? Which other country and which other leader has risen up? The Russia that all of you are shouting, oh, Russia, Russia. Has Russia risen up to come and fight for you? To crush the terrorists? No. Instead, Russia is having deals with Nigeria every day. They don't look at how many Boko Haram terrorists are killing you. They don't look at how much Nigerian government are paying to the Boko Haram terrorists as contract to continue to kill you. But it's only America, it's only Donald Trump that is coming to crush the terrorists. You should be happy for yourself. Now, this was, I think, how many years ago that this happened? This should have been maybe 2013 or 2014, this video that I just played now. But let me play a recent video now from the lawmaker of America, so that you will also hear that American government in this very time have also been doing what? Been supporting Nigeria to eliminate the terrorists by giving them all the financial support, all the military support, by even training them, by even giving them more money to add up and then eliminate the terrorists. But they refuse to eliminate the terrorists. They collect those money and those logistics, but they refuse to eliminate the terrorists. Instead, they use that money to fund the terrorists to eliminate you all Christians. This is why you need to be in our fundraising tomorrow to come and support Biafra. Come and support Biafra because we made what you see here to happen. If we did not speak the loud voice in Washington, D.C., what is happening here now will not happen. If the congressional briefing in the U.S. Congress, in the Capitol, did not happen, what you see here today will not happen. If all the meetings with the U.S. lawmakers, alongside our acting prime minister and our lobbyists and attorneys, did not happen, all this will not come to play. That is why we are telling all of you, come and join the fundraising to support your freedom tomorrow and also on every town hall meeting. Visit the website at your disposal and drop your donation. Scan this barcode that you see here. Donate what you have to support Biafra. Think Biafra. Dream Biafra. Night Biafra. Morning Biafra. Afternoon Biafra. Sleep Biafra. Dream Biafra. Liberation Biafra. Diplomatic Biafra. Wake up and face your freedom. Now let us listen to U.S. Congressman Rep. Riley Moore.
This is a topic, alas, that has been neglected by a lot of people for a long time. I'm really happy may be the wrong word because it is, of course, a very difficult topic, but I'm glad it's getting attention. Let's put it that way. And can you talk a little bit about how you became interested in this topic, about what is happening to the Christians in Nigeria, and then perhaps we can explore what the United States might be able to do here?
Much for having me on, and thank you for illuminating this for people. It's something that's on unspoken for a very long time, unfortunately, by the mainstream media. But this is something that I have been tracking and has certainly been weighing on my heart for a number of years, and that's just generally the persecution of Christians around the world. And there's no country more dangerous for Christians in the world than Nigeria. I mean, it is rated as the most dangerous place for Christians to live.
This is a country that is more dangerous than any Christian to live in the world. This is the country that is the most dangerous. The most dangerous. Now, before he continue, let me bring one message from this man to cap up what he just said now.
90% of all Christian persecution deaths worldwide have occurred in Nigeria in the last 5 years.
Persecution deaths.
Persecution
So
deaths.
martyrdom. 90% of the world's Christian martyrs are in Nigeria.
Are in Nigeria for the last 5 years. And we're going to meet the same statistic again this year in 2025.
What kind of numbers? How many deaths are we talking about?
On average, it's been about 5,000 Christian deaths per year. This year it's up to 7,000. 90% of all Christian persecution deaths worldwide have occurred in Nigeria in the last 5 years.
Persecution deaths.
Persecution
so
deaths. Martyrdom.
90% of the world's Christian martyrs are in Nigeria.
Are in Nigeria for the last.
Now, do you really understand the message here? 90% of the world massacre, genocide, audience. Now, for example, you have 20%, you have 5%, you have 100%. Then the 100% is calculating the entire number in the entire white world. Then from that 100%, they are telling you that the ratio from that 100%, calculating the entire world, that Nigeria alone reads 90%. 90%. That is to confirm what this congressman of America just said. He said, Nigeria is the worst place for Christians to live in the entire white world. And then I went to bring the other message to add it up for you. Someone said, refresh. Is my voice not coming out well? Please, if my voice is not coming out well, let me know, so that we know whether the problem is from Ikukuchuku or whether it's from my end. Is my voice not coming out? Those of you listening in the comment section, please type. Let me know. Let us know whether Ikukuchuku has a Chinese phone today, whether his microphone is bad. Is my voice not coming out well? Please type in the comment section, let me know. Please type in the comment section, let me know. Is my voice not coming out well? Please type. Let me see. Type. Let me see. Type, let me see. Is my voice not coming out well? Type and let me see. Oh. Type and let me see. Oh. Okay. Ikuku. 4 people now. 4 people, 5 people now have just said my voice. 6 people now. 7, okay. 8, 9, 10. 10 people have just confirmed now. 11 that my voice is coming out well. So you could check your China phone because it's like your China phone is misbehaving. You could check your China phone. Oh. So the message here is that from 100% calculating the ratio of worldwide, we are now made to understand. You see, yesterday, it was Eukarya. It was Eukarya's phone that had a China infection. Today now your own, I can't get China infection. Eukarya phone now is very okay today. Now your own phone now I can't get a China infection in Ikuku. So you see, you see, say, what happened to Eukarya yesterday? Now ain't gonna happen to you today now. so go and change your China phone. All right. Thank you so much. Let's continue. and I appreciate all of you in the comment section for alerting us to know how we are coming out so that we know when the sound is bad and when the network has fluctuated. Thank you so much. So, from 100% calculated all over the world, you now see that it is Nigeria that takes 90%. 90%. So what it means is that, hey, nah man, I don't know how to explain this. So, do you mean that only 10% is the massacre or genocide of Christians? Wait, how many countries makes up this entire world? Let me see. How many countries? How many countries makes up the entire world? Okay, from Google. Google said we have 195 countries. Google says we have 195 countries. So from 195 countries of the world, we are made to understand that from that 195 countries, when you add all of them together, remove Nigeria and keep one side, the massacre of Christians is just 10% in all the 194. So now I want somebody to divide. Now. 194 countries divided by 10. What will be the answer? 194 countries divided by 10. I think that will be 0.00. Hi, my God. 195 divided by 10. 10 divided by 194. 10 divided by 194. When you do 10 divided by 194 countries, total numbers of countries that are existing according to Google says 195. Then they say 90% of the genocide worldwide is from Nigeria. So it's only 10% that is left. And that 10% now you have to share it amongst 194 countries. So if you divide 10 by 194 countries, the answer is 0.051, which is approximately 0.1. Approximately 0.01. approximately 0.01, meaning that in the 194 countries that are left, the ratio or the percentage of Christians massacred is just 0.01. 0.01. 0.01. But Nigeria now carries 90% from all over the world ratio. 90%. So it is the worst place. It is the worst place for a Christian to live. That is what the research and statistics have unveiled. Do you now see the reason why Biafran people declared independence? Because it is a dangerous and destructive diversity. It is a dangerous and destructive diversity that will destroy the lives of Christians who are predominantly Christians. Because Nigeria is the worst place to live. 90% of the world massacre and genocide records on Christians is from Nigeria. Then you have 0.01% to the remaining 194 countries, each 0.01%, 0.01% to the remaining 194 countries. But Nigeria is 90%. Do you now see the reason why you have to think Biafra? Do you now see the reason why you have to embrace Biafra? Do you know why you have to do Biafra in the morning, Biafra in the afternoon, Biafra in the night, Biafra in your sleep, Biafra in your dream, Biafra in your liberation, Biafra in your diplomatic, Biafra in your kissing, Biafra in your work, Biafra in everything, your food, Biafra. Everything you do should be Biafra because you have a reason to live. You have a reason to live. This is why, see, the reason you have your reason of fighting for Biafra is backed up with fact and figures that Nigeria is the worst place globally out of 195 countries of this world. Nigeria carries 90% of a place that massacre and slaughter Christians. The ratio is there. So is that a place that you are forcing the Biafran people to cohabit? No. They reject it in totality. They have a reason. These are the reasons why they cannot live in such places. So think Biafra in the morning, think Biafra in the evening, think Biafra in the night, think Biafra in the afternoon, think Biafra in your work. As you are kissing, think Biafra. As you are eating, think Biafra. As you are romancing, think Biafra. As you are rejoicing, think Biafra. As you are crying, think Biafra. As you are doing business, think Biafra. As you embrace, think Biafra. As you exchange anything that you're doing, think Biafra. Scan the barcode and donate money and support Biafra because it is a just cause. The international community have given you reasons to understand that your Biafra is a just cause because the place you come out from, is the most dangerous and destructive zone for you to live as a Christian. So your reason of fighting for Biafra survival has been validated. 90% of Christians massacred in this war is from Nigeria. And Nigeria is the worst place. So every other country in this world is even safer for you to run down there and seek refuge and say you are a Christian and live. You will live and see the next day. But in Nigeria, the government of Nigeria has turned Nigeria to the safe haven of the terrorists. That is why when we were speaking to the chairman of the Austrian committee and the NATO committee chairman a day before yesterday with the APM, we made him to understand that the terrorists have turned Nigeria to the safe zone. They want to sit down there and launch the attack to Europe, launch the attack to America, launch the attack to UK, launch the attack to NATO, launch the attack to Austria, launch the attack to every part of the world. So they have turned Nigeria to their safe haven. And you have heard it now from the US lawmaker. You also heard it from that man from the Truth Investigation Team who says, this is conversion that they made here is 2014. And he has told you that in 2015, that the number will increase.
90% of all Christian persecution deaths worldwide have occurred in Nigeria in the last 5 years.
Persecution deaths.
Persecution
so
deaths.
martyrdom.
Martyrdom.
90% of the world's Christian martyrs are in Nigeria.
Are in Nigeria for the last 5 years. And we're going to meet the same statistic again this year in 2025.
What kind of number is that? How many?
Did you hear that? And we are going to meet that same statistics again in 2025. Why did he say that with assurance? Because the government of Nigeria are doing nothing about it. And then calculating the numbers of people that have been massacred in 2025, did it not hit that exact number that he said? It has hit over 7,000. Now, since last week, where Donald Trump made a statement against Nigeria, genocide of Christians, has the massacre stopped? Has the genocide stopped? No. They are entering community by community every night, and the numbers that they have killed since last week to this day is over 1,000 now. So, Biafran people, you have a reason to fight for your Biafra. Now, look at Pastor Enenche here.
Number 2.
When Pastor Enenche was talking here, this video is earlier this year. When Pastor Enenche was talking here, this was when they invaded Benue community. How many people were massacred there? Over 200 people. Over 200 were massacred there. Then, in Biafra land, Hobu Zodima used the same Boko Haram terrorists to massacre the Biafrans that you see here on the floor. These are dead bodies of Biafrans. Fulani herdsmen attack in Okwa community again. Did you see that? Did you see that? Okay. So, then there was another one. They say suicide bomb attack in Borno, in Fish Market. Kill 10, injure 7. How many be that? That was just within 3 days. All these things that you see on this screen in this publication happened within 3 days. Within 3 days. So when you heard that, the video you see here, this picture you see here, these are babies. And I don't want to open this video, this picture. If I open this picture here, maybe the screen will be blurred. YouTube will block it. These are babies that have been massacred by Boko Haram terrorists. These are babies on the floor. Babies. So when you heard this man say
90% of all Christian persecution deaths worldwide have occurred in Nigeria in the last 5 years.
When you heard him say 90% of Christians massacred worldwide, it is happening in Nigeria for the past 5 years. It is not a lie. It is fact. You saw Pastor Enenche when he was crying out, right? Okay. Apostle Suleiman was also crying out. All the evidences are there. Even what is it called? Is it Ayorekbo? Ayorekbo was also crying out. Ayorekbo said, we could not show the head of the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria that was cut off. That is what Ayorekbo said. He said we could not show it on the screen for everybody to see in the congregation. Why? Because it is too glaring. It is too bad to behold. Now, before we go back to that U.S. lawmaker, we want to hear from Laya Mohammed.
ISWAP allies.
This is Laya Mohammed, former information minister of Nigeria. You will hear from Laya Mohammed also affirming that there is Christian genocide, that Nigeria is the worst place for all of us to live, and that they want to turn it to the safe haven where they will slaughter all of you, then they will launch the attack from there to Europe, to America, and to UK, and to the entire Western world. Biafrans, think Biafra. Support Biafra. Sleep Biafra. Night Biafra. Afternoon Biafra. Morning Biafra. Dream Biafra. Support Biafra. Because the world understand now that Nigeria is the worst place for a Christian to cohabit. Because 90% of the world record of Christians massacred is from Nigeria. So your cause of Biafra independence is legitimate. Yes. Because you cannot tell us that the world record of the numbers of Christians massacred, Nigeria topples the number, and it is 90%. And then we are running out from this place called Nigeria, and we are telling you we want exit so that we can face the common enemy, so that our babies, women, and children will not be slaughtered. And then you say, no. If the world record explains that 90% is coming from Nigeria, then our cause and reason of fighting for independence is legitimate. Do you know why I put this other video on the screen? So that as you are listening to all the evidences, you will also see evidence of Nigerian government paying the same Boko Haram terrorists. 100 billion naira contract is what they are paying. Listen to Laya Mohammed of Nigeria as he also confirms.
But in the wake of a renewed onslaught by Chad's military against Boko Haram and the ISWAP allies in recent times, the insurgents have apparently changed their strategy. They have started targeting Christians and Christian villages for a specific reason, which is to trigger a religious war and throw the nation into chaos. Apparently, they have realized how emotive and divisive religion can be when exploited by unscrupulous forces. Lest I am misunderstood, let me repeat. The insurgents who delude themselves as Muslims, whereas they are nothing but the bloodthirsty, rapacious killers who subscribe to no religion, have recently started targeting Christians with a view to sowing the seed of confusion and discord between the two great religions. This is not to say that they have stopped attacking Muslims, but they seem to now have a deliberate policy of attacking Christians. The attack on the village, Korangulu, near Chibok, the killing of the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, the late Lawan Andimi, in Michigan local government in Adamawa State, the killing of Rovio, a student who was also a member of the Church of Christ in Nations, cousin, and the killing of 11 Christians on Christmas Eve fit into this new strategy.
And the killing of Deborah Samuel also fits into that classification. Yes. And the killing of One other man that was killed in Kano, which I have forgotten the name now, also fit into that description. So, Nigeria is the worst place for a Christian to cohabit. So we are calling on the international community, especially America. The Biafran people, through the Biafran Republic government in Israel, had submitted a deal which is available online in the U.S. Department of Justice, granting you proposed access to a military base in Biafra land. And now we welcome Donald Trump on his readiness to crush the terrorists. We want you to work on, and we want the lawmakers of America to work on the proposed deal template that we gave them. You don't go to eliminate Nigerian terrorists sponsored by the Nigerian government and paid by the Nigerian government, and then you go to align with them. They will eliminate you. Yes, because the Nigerian Boko Haram terrorists are all infiltrated into or integrated into the Nigerian military formations. So going to have any ally with the Nigerian terrorist government today or their military formations is a very big mistake that America would make if they do. The same thing that happened in Afghanistan, which all the military had ways. We were training the Afghanistan military personnel and later ended up in the hands of the Taliban, will happen in Nigeria. So the Biafra Liberation Army, the Defense Force, the government of Biafra are still reminding you that Biafra land is the safest place for you to station your military base. And as our president Trump will always say, he will say, we found a beautiful site for our military base. And that beautiful site will be seated in Biafra land. Come to Biafra land and take a beautiful and greenish site where you will station and project and destroy the terrorists that are killing everybody. We are offering it free of charge. As far as we must live and let live, because we are fighting a fight for survival. So what more evidence do you need to explain to us that there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria? Even Information Minister of Nigeria that has existed before is affirming to you that these terrorists claims to be neutral of this religion or that. Their main targets, their primary targets are the Christians. And they have come to eliminate specifically the Christians so that they will take over their lands. This is the Minister of Information of Nigeria they're speaking of, Laya Mohammed of Nigeria, that many of you have missed him for over a year now. Now let me go back to the lawmaker of America.
And really, it started right when I got sworn in. The first floor speech I ever gave in the U.S. House of Representatives was about the persecution for a very long time, unfortunately, by the mainstream media. But this is something that I have been tracking and has certainly been weighing on my heart for a number of years, and that's just generally the persecution of Christians around the world. And there's no country more dangerous for Christians in the world than Nigeria. I mean, it is rated as the most dangerous place for Christians to live. And really, it started right when I got sworn in. The first floor speech I ever gave in the U.S. House of Representatives was about the persecution of Christians in Nigeria and other countries in the Middle East and Africa. But I spoke specifically about Nigeria and introduced a resolution condemning the persecution of Christians in Muslim-majority countries. And this started me down this path, pushing for the redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, which President Trump had rightfully put that designation in place in his first term, but then the Biden administration took that designation off because they viewed the conflict, and I'm not joking, as being precipitated by climate change, and there was no discriminate violence against Christians. This is just random acts of violence and Muslim terrorists doing what they do, and climate change and land.
Now, did you understand the grammar that he spoke here? He made you to understand that Nigerian government told Joe Biden administration that the Christian genocide in Nigeria is caused by climate change. That it is because there is climate change that it is just communal clash, that it is not Christian genocide. So with that, with no investigation of any kind, Joe Biden now removed Nigeria from the countries of the watch list, not minding the babies, women, and children that were butchered and massacred on a daily basis, which they are still butchering till today, that makes Trump to wake up. And when you listen to Michael Rubin from the video I played before, Michael Rubin made you to understand that it is not climate change, according to the narrative which Joe Biden used and which Nigeria used to remove Nigeria from the watch list. From the Biafra congressional briefing in the US Capitol, in the White House, Michael Rubin made it clear that they said that it is climate change that is causing the Christian genocide in Nigeria, which is what they used to deceive people. That it is not climate change, that climate change cannot buy AK-47, RPG, and all the weapons that the terrorists that I showed you before standing on the screen, and all the magazine on his body, that it is not climate change that bought all those weapons for him. It is not climate change that gave them all the trucks that they use to run about to kill people. It is not climate change that bought the motorcycle that they use to invade communities. It is not climate change that bought the machete for them that they use to slaughter the babies, women, and children. Are you connecting? Are you understanding it? So, in this congressional briefing of Biafra that happened in the White House on the 18th of September 2025 under BRGIA, it was opportunity and the key to open the door for this very message that you're hearing now. That's why I'm connecting it for you to hear. They said it was climate change that was killing Christians. So we went to Washington, D.C. to change the narrative in this congressional briefing to make them understand that it is not climate change, that it is the terrorists, the human beings that are doing the massacre. Let us go back now to the congressman.
Disputes is what caused this, which is just obviously completely bogus and unfortunately laughable in this situation. So I had pushed and pushed, sent a letter to Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, last month, asking for this redesignation as a country of particular concern, and I'll talk about why that's important here in just a moment. But started off podcasts like this and just continued to do the media work of it all and raising it. And then in the middle of all this, you get folks like Bill Maher and some others said, oh, hey, this is an issue. Can't say I've ever agreed with Bill Maher really on anything, but thank you, Bill Maher, for at least bringing this one up. And it gained a lot of steam, and I've been pushing the White House and working with the staff and reaching out to the State Department. Please, can we get this redesignation? And then we just saw it last week, President Trump making the absolute right call, which I knew as soon as he saw this. I know how close this is to his heart and kind of man that he is, and had the good fortune of being able interact with him on a number of occasions now, that he would redesignate, which is exactly what he did, and then left a very strong message for the Nigerians to contemplate of what's going to happen if there is inaction here in Nigeria, which he was very clear that something needs to change, or we're going to start changing some things to protect these Christians over in Nigeria.
Riley, I want to explore this issue of a country of concern, but you're aware, as I am, that there is a certain kind of faction, if you will, on social media, very loud, that will erupt any time you talk about a subject like this and say something like, "What do we care? Nigeria is none of our concern. We have big problems here in America. Why are you even concerned about what's happening over there? Let's look after the problems inside of our own country." I understand, having served in the Reagan administration and over many decades, that we have a State Department and the country has a foreign policy and we have dealings with people all over the world. But how would you answer if you were speaking on a campus and some kid asked you that question, why are you wasting your time on Nigeria? What would you say?
Well, what I'd say is, first, I'm absolutely America first, and I have been somebody who's supported President Trump since he came down the golden escalator. I mean, this has shaped my entire political career and ascendancy up to this point, and will continue for the rest of my life. And why this is important is our brothers and sisters in Christ are literally being murdered for the profession of their faith in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. How many times have we talked about also the same people online of the destruction and corrosion of the West and Western civilization and Christian values and the importance of those things? If we don't address this, if we don't do something about this, and some terror state takes hold in Nigeria, I promise you, unfortunately, we're going to have to address it one way or the other. And what I like to do is to address this in a cooperative manner. I'm hopeful they'll be with the Nigerians, but we do.
You see, if they like it or shy away from it, in one way or another, these terrorists in this place will later launch the attack from Nigeria to America. That's what it's trying to make you to understand. That if we shy away from it now, at this very point where the number of Christian percentage are at its peak, 90% worldwide, it's fixated in Nigeria of the genocide. If they ignore it, by the time the terrorists finish wipe out the Nigerians who have voice to speak, they will turn that place to their launching point and they will be facing America and UK. So understand it very well. Oh.
Do have to stand up for our brothers and sisters in Christ. We can't just sit there and just let this happen. And at the same time saying, oh, Western civilization and culture is completely corroded, it's rootless, and just floating down a river, a tree without roots, and there's nothing that we can do at all about it, and it just kind of happens, and we can just complain about it online. No, I'm not willing to accept that at all. And I do think that there is a potential very quickly to be able to partner, and I'm hoping they're going to partner with the U.S. government to address this, because we have been providing them billions of dollars worth of security.
This is where I want all of you to listen. I played a video before where I made all of you to understand that far back in 2014, 2013, Jonathan was working with that military expert group who came and were ready to crush the terrorists. And they were working to crush the terrorists. Let me bring it back to the screen. And then Obama with Buhari say, no, stop crushing the terrorists. Let us use the terrorists to force out good luck and cause chaos, and then use these terrorists as our mercenaries. They stopped this man here from crushing the Boko Haram terrorists. Yes. Joe Biden too, stop it. Only Trump now has come out and said we must crush the terrorists. If they had stopped it since that 2014, the number of the percentage of Christians being endangered in the world, which Nigeria now carries 90%, will not have gone to 90% globally. You see that? So the more you allow it from 2014, coming up 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, the number has gone up to 90% on the global rating. So when you continue to allow it to continue, before you know it, it will not be Nigeria that you'll be talking about again. That will be the hosting point to launch the attack on America, UK, and Europe, and every other part of the world. And this man here said, when he was asked, how much did the Nigerian government pay you? He said, we were not receiving anything at that time. Listen to him again.
But that's not what's happening in Africa.
How much did you charge the Nigerian government?
Well, first of all, we didn't charge the Nigerian government. And I think here that is a question the Nigerian government can answer. We were one subcontractor.
You see? How much did you charge the Nigerian government to eliminate the terrorists? At first, we did not charge the Nigerian government. We don't know any other contract that went on again. But at first, we did not charge them. They volunteered as a security operative expert that were ready to sweep out the terrorists, and they were doing it. All they were now asking from the Nigerian government was the logistics. Then they do the technical know-how, train them, and then they were eliminating the terrorists. And when they saw that the terrorists were being eliminated, they stopped them. This was about 2013 to 14 or 2015. Today we are in 2025. Now, the American lawmaker, Reb Moore, is telling you today that the U.S. government, not the U.S. government of 2014, not the U.S. government of 2015, not the U.S. government of 2017, he is telling you now. Listen to him. Listen.
Without roots, and there's nothing that we can do at all about it, and it just kind of happens, and we can just complain about it online. No, I'm not willing to accept that at all. And I do think that there is a potential very quickly to be able to partner, and I'm hoping they're going to partner with the U.S. government to address this, because we have been providing them billions of dollars worth of security assistance. They did pay for that, but then
we have been providing Nigeria billions of assistance, security-wise, and they did pay for it. So what are they using it for? They channel it to Boko Haram. American government have been giving Nigeria billions of assistance to crush the terrorists. Both the ones that they will buy the weapons from America and the ones that America will give them free of charge to back up to destroy the terrorists. What are they using it for? They use it to come and kill you as a Biafran because you're fighting for Biafra independence. Did you all remember that the military shell, the weapon shells of America were found in the hands of the Nigerian terrorists, Ebubagu, and the Nigerian terrorists, Boko Haram, that came to kill Biafrans in Biafra land? Have you seen the bombs that they have dropped in Biafra land? That it is American-made weapons. So, as American government are assisting Nigerian terrorists to eliminate Boko Haram terrorists, and they tell them they are using the weapon in the Sambisa forest, they are not using it. They are using it to come and kill Biafrans because of Biafra independence. And then they hand over the rest of the weapons to the Boko Haram terrorists, whereby they use it to invade your communities and to now slaughter your babies, women, and children. Listen to it again. This is shocking, Abby.
U.S. government to address this, because we have been providing them billions of dollars worth of security assistance. They did pay for that, but then also there was granted security assistance from the United States, training.
There was also granted security assistance from the United States. by even training the Nigerian military personnel, the Air Force, the Navy, and everything on how to destroy the Boko Haram terrorists and all the terrorist groups in Nigeria. So tell me, why are they not destroying the Boko Haram terrorist group? Why are they not destroying the Boko Haram terrorist group? With all the assistance that the American government... Now, to every Biafran in America, I want you to understand something now. You have been working in America and paying tax to the American government. And the American government, with your taxpayers' money, have also used that money to contribute to see that Boko Haram are destroyed and all the terrorist groups are destroyed in Nigeria so that your babies, women, and children will not be slaughtered back home. But do you know what that your taxpayers' money is being used to do? Nigerian government use that taxpayers' money, which you pay, which America channel to them to use it to fight terrorism. They use that weapon, they use that money to come and kill your babies, women, and children and your slaves. They use it to fund Boko Haram terrorists. It is from that money that they pay these Boko Haram terrorist groups 100 billion naira, which you see on the screen. Let me play this video again.
The federal government, led by the Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazo, met with the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria in Kebbi State, offering them the sum of 100 billion naira over 2 years to stop the kidnapping in the country.
Did you hear that? They offered them 200 billion naira as a contract for 2 years to stop kidnapping. Instead of you to go and crush the Boko Haram terrorists, you are giving them money. Why are you giving them money? For what? A terrorist, you're paying them to keep up the business, to continue to buy more weapons to kill. What are they going to use the money for? You give terrorists money. To do what? To use it to procure more weapons and continue the genocide on the Christians. Are you getting the point? The US lawmaker here is telling you, we have been giving the Nigerian government military aids, both the ones that we sell to them and they pay the money, and the one that we give them military training and aids to help them to fight the terrorism. But they are not delivering it because they have a different agenda. From the money that the American government paid to them or give them as aid to support in fighting terrorism, it is from that money that they use to pay these Boko Haram terrorists for contract of 2 years to continue to do kidnapping and to kill and maim and rape your babies, women, and children and to cut them to pieces and take over your communities. Have you wondered how the terrorists have money to buy RPG and have money to buy all the trucks and have money to buy AK-47? It is the money that comes into the Nigerian government purse, which are supposed to be used to fight terrorism. But the government of the day channel all those money to the terrorists to make them stronger, to come and wipe all of you out. Listen to it again.
The federal government, led by the Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazo, met with the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria in Kebbi State, offering them the sum of 100 billion naira over 2 years to stop the kidnapping in the country.
Enokwa. And when you listen to this video today and you hear that these terrorists were asking for 160 billion naira, then they had to haggle the price till they come down to 100 billion naira, just for money that they want to pay them for them to massacre all of you.
The federal government, led by the Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazo, met with the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria in Kebbi State, offering them the sum of 100 billion naira over 2 years to stop the kidnapping in the country. The meeting lasted over 4 hours on Friday as negotiations dragged on, with the association initially asking for 160 billion naira. The minister said that the strategy was part of the steps needed to tackle insecurity in the country as prescribed by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The herdsman crisis has risen since 2015 after Muhammad Buhari became president. Their rampage has spread not only in the north but also throughout the southern zones of the country. The killings by the herdsmen has led them to be tagged the fourth most dangerous and deadly terrorist group in the world by the World Terror Index. The acting Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, who was also at the meeting in Kebbi State, added that over 1,000 people have been killed and many more kidnapped in Kaduna. However, he said that this intervention was necessary to bring the criminals to book. The Kebbi State Governor Atiku Bagudu said hosting the meeting in his state shows the seriousness of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration in tackling the security challenges in the country. Responding, the president of the association, Alhaji Muhammad Kirua, said the meeting would serve as a foundation for peace between the Fulani headsmen and farmers and among Fulanis themselves. Roots TV, Nigeria. The federal government, led by the Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazo, met with the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria in Kebbi State, offering them the sum of 100 billion naira over 2 years to stop the kidnapping in the country. The meeting lasted over 4 hours on Friday as negotiations dragged on, with the association initially asking for 160 billion naira. The minister said that the strategy was part of the steps needed to tackle insecurity in the country as prescribed by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The herdsman crisis has risen since 2015 after Muhammad Buhari became president. Their rampage has spread not only in the north but also throughout the southern zones of the country. The killings by the herdsmen has led them to be tagged the fourth most dangerous and deadly terrorist group in the world by the Terror Indexed. The acting Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, who was also at the meeting in Kebbi State, added that over 1,000 people have been killed and many more kidnapped in Kaduna. However, he said that this intervention was necessary to bring the criminals to book. The Kebbi State Governor Atiku Bagudu said hosting the meeting in his state shows the seriousness of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration in tackling the security challenges in the country. Responding, the president of the association, Alhaji Muhammad Kirua, said the meeting would serve as a foundation for peace between the Fulani headsmen and farmers and among Fulanis themselves. Roots TV, Nigeria.
It shock you now, say the money where American government they give Nigeria to fight terrorists, they use them, they pay the terrorists to acquire more weapons. It shock you, Abi? Okay. Let us go back to the lawmaker and hear what he has to say in the concluding part.
Very quickly to be able to partner, and I'm hoping they're going to partner with the U.S. government to address this, because we have been providing them billions of dollars worth of security assistance. They did pay for that, but then also there was granted security assistance from the United States, training and equipment for them to address this issue, and it has gone unresolved. Billions of dollars worth of this, and they're not prioritizing the protection of the Christians. So I do think the pieces are in place to address this. It's just been flying under the radar, and nobody's cared about this for a very long time. But if we're not going to stand up for our values that we have as Christians, and I'm not talking about nation building and democracy and all this, we're not talking about those neocon talking points of going in and changing it. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about standing up for other Christians and just protecting them from murder, which I think is something as a Christian we should all be able to agree with. It's very important to me as a Catholic, and I think it's important to all denominations of Christians that I've spoken with too, around my district and also in the country.
Riley, you mentioned a couple of minutes ago.
I don't want Dinesh to go too far. I will leave the remaining parts for my coming back broadcast because there are a lot to talk about there. But today, I just wanted to establish the fact that American government have spent so much money and given Nigeria so much aid to make sure they destroy the terrorists. And instead of that money to be used to destroy the terrorists, they rather use that money to pay the terrorists and to give them more strongholds. And American government did not just help them, they trained their military personnel. And they even sell some of their logistics to them. And they helped them so much to see that the terrorists are crushed. But they thwarted every effort of the American government. Rather, they decided to protect the terrorists and then make the indigenous Christians to become the victims. So, now, how did we make this happen? I want everybody to now know the importance of BRGI because you all gathered in the congressional briefing and did something in September, and some people did not understand what you did. Here is the result of what you did, and it is speaking volume. When you listen to Michael Rubin speak here in the congressional briefing, he made you to understand that climate change did not develop wings and buy weapons for these people, that the government of Nigeria did. And that goes in line to explain how the government of Nigeria used the money that America are giving to them to destroy these terrorists to now fund the same terrorists and kill Biafrans and Christians. Now let us go to BBC. BBC never wanted to talk about Biafra. Rather, they had always wanted to be on the propaganda side. I want all of you to look at the screen. What you have here is not BBC Niger. It's not BBC Africa. It's not BBC Europe. It's not BBC Igbo. It's not BBC Pidgin. It is BBC UK, bbc.com. Their real headquarters in Nigeria. Just listen to how they are going to tell you the work of Biafra Republic government in exile. In the fire that is burning from Washington, D.C. on the Nigerian head, which is making Nigeria to run helter-skelter. Biafrans should remember that tomorrow is sit at home. No elections of one Nigeria in Anambra. Do not go out to validate one Nigeria. Reject them in totality. Think Biafra, dream Biafra, sleep Biafra, morning Biafra, afternoon Biafra, night Biafra, support Biafra, liberation Biafra, and diplomatic Biafra. Join fundraising tomorrow and support with everything you have. You don't need to become friends that we walk around to go to the stream or to go and take bath in the river or in the beach or in the swimming pool or walking around kissing or romancing or doing this and that before you support Biafra. So if you think, oh, because you're not my friend, this one, oh, because I'm not his friend. No, we don't need you to even be at the same place with us before you support Biafra. No. All you need is to scan this barcode on the screen. It will take you to the website. You drop your tithe and offering there to support Biafra, and then you move on. We continue to move. You have dropped your 5 ejema, 10 ejema, 20 ejema, or let me call it in dollars for those of you that may not know. You call $10, $20, $100, 1,500, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000, you have supported Biafra. You don't need to be my friend before you support Biafra. You don't need to be my enemy before you support Biafra. But I want everybody to be my friend, yes. So that when I want to laugh, I will laugh and know that I am laughing where my friends are available. Yes. So that when I want to eat, I will be able to eat comfortably because I know that I'm eating where my friends are. I will not be afraid of my life. Because when you're eating where your friends are not there or where people don't agree with you, you will even be afraid to eat because you think that they will poison you. Okay? So I want everybody to be my friend. So support Biafra. Support Biafra. Just scan this barcode, make your donations, and your money will go to Biafra. Support Biafra. So BBC had propagated series of propaganda against the Biafran people, starting from 1966 genocidal war, no, even starting from 1900. When the Aba Women Riot happened, BBC was the propaganda media house and the premium times of London that were used to peddle false narrative against the indigenous people in the Old Eastern region. When the colonial masters turned all our governors and fathers and chiefs to warrant fathers and governors and chiefs, whereby they became slaves to them, whatever they decide to them, they had to do, they could not. Our mothers had it all to their neck, and they said, no, enough is enough. They cannot bear it anymore. So they had to resist. They protested. Then the colonial masters under UK, Lord Lugard, they ordered them to be shot to death when they protested against the taxation policies that they implemented against our women and men and children in the eastern region, the old eastern region, because this is where we produce gari. This is where we produce all the food that we eat, cultivate, and then main everything, and then you want to move it from one place to another to sell. The taxation policies that were implemented were so whoosh, and then they couldn't, they couldn't bear it. So they had to protest. It had to resort into a protest, and they protested. And then the colonial police, the colonial masters ordered for our mothers to be shot to death. Many of them were shot to death. So this brutality and this ideology of kill protesters, Nigerian government learned it from the British who colonized them. The spirit transcended to these very generations, and it has not gone out of them. I don't know whether it will go out in the next 100 years. But we are ending Nigeria now so that everybody can be alive to enjoy their future and their labor. So here, from 1929 coming down to 45, the massacre happened again, the pogrom, they massacred us again, coming down to 54, they massacred us again, which necessitated the Aburi Accord in Ghana. Went there, they agreed, okay, let us resolve conflict so that everybody can stay. We said we didn't want to watch our babies, women, and children slaughtered because the jihad is staring everybody to the face. We got into that Aburi Accord. On coming back, the disagreement came. After we had agreed in Aburi, disagreement now came on landing in Nigeria. War later broke out in 1967. Nigeria shot the first bullet in Kakem when you are coming into the then Calabar Cross River state of today. Nigeria shot the first bullet. It is not Biafra that shot the first bullet. It is not Biafra that started the war. It is Nigeria that shot the first bullet from Kakem when you're coming into the waterways of Calabar. That was where they shot the first bullet on the Biafran people. So, when you now hear why we had to declare Biafra, because our lives were threatened. We had to fight for our survival. So we had to declare our survival means so that we can be able to defend our babies, women, and children. Exactly what is happening today. You heard the American lawmaker tell you that Nigeria is the worst place for Christians to live on this planet Earth. 90% of the genocide carried out on the indigenous people as Christians in this world is calculated to emanate from Nigeria. So if Nigeria has that kind of rating, 90% from the entire world, that means Nigeria is the worst place. That means every other place in this world is safe. But when you come to Nigeria, 90% is the place that destroys your life. So we come down now to the BBC. BBC in 67 to 70s, they played a vital role for Nigeria and Britain in disseminating what? Lies and propaganda against the Biafran people. That is why international community did not get the message about what actually happened to the Biafran people, because BBC and Premium Times of London, they wrote lies and propaganda against the Biafran people. But today, BBC is writing about the work of Biafra Republic government in exile in Washington, D.C. Let us go there and let them understand that the table don't turn. Oh, the same mouth that you used to write propaganda against the Biafran people in 67 to 70s, today, you are using it to write the good works of Biafra Republic government in exile. So Britain is falling. If Britain is bowing down to sing the praises of what Biafra are doing today, history is changing. And it is changing in our own time. We thank God for being part and parcel of this in our own time. The program is coming to a close, but I want to open this book of Britain, this BBC. Then when we come back again, we will open the rest of them. Let us go there. Are Christians being persecuted in Nigeria as Trump claims? They go down. They write all the nonsense. They write. They say, oh, Boko Haram has this, Boko Haram has done that. When you have time, go down and read all of them. But I am going down to where they cited the Biafra Republic government in exile, so that you will see something. That's where I'm going. So just go with me. They say, where do their numbers come from? They cited Senator Ted Cruz report, and then they say, oh, Inter-Society of Nigeria is giving false narrative. Now, listen up. Inter-Society of Nigeria has also reported about the genocide carried out by Nigerian government and the governors, senators, and ministers in Biafra land also, not only in the far north. But BBC have come to do propaganda, but this one, they no fit stop the message that has already started going. So let's go down to see. They say, what about those killed in 2015, 2025? Looking at that this year alone, Inter-Society, their problem is that they want to come and debunk the report from Senator Ted Cruz and Congressman Moore, because that is what BBC and UK is made up of. They don't want to accept. They just come to do propaganda and to see how they can change the narrative. They even use Al Jazeera. They use Al Jazeera here to quote. They use Al Jazeera to quote also to be able to distort fact. We are going to where they say something about Biafra Republic government in exile. So when you take time, you read all this, you see their cry. All their cry and attack is coming against the report that is emanating and giving evidences against these terrorist people. Now look at where they now come now. They say, who has been campaigning on this? See BBC now. BBC say, who has been campaigning on this? Let us hear their cry. BBC say, concerns about threats facing Nigerian Christians has been discussed by politicians in the United States and by international Christian groups for a long time. But they themselves, BBC, did nothing about it. They don't care how many Christians are massacred. All they will do is that they wait when they see that you are making move to destroy them. they come to debunk. And I say, in previous years, yes, in previous years, it has been raised in the US by the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. And then you can see how useless BBC is. BBC is now quoting to you that IPOB is a proscribed organization in Nigeria, which is fighting for a breakaway state in the mainly Christian Southeast. So, they have even validated the Biafran people here. They have also validated the report by making us to know that the indigenous people of Biafra are mainly Christian state. Mainly Christian state. So if we are talking about the Christian genocide, that means Christians, the Biafran people, are predominantly the victims of the Christian genocide. You see, when you are trying to say you want to do damage control, you end up helping us by validating our claims. Yes, and our stand. That is what BBC just did now. BBC said a group proscribed in Nigeria, which is fighting for a breakaway state in the mainly Christian Southeast. That means we are the Christian victims. We are the victims of the genocide because the terrorists are going after the Christians. It is Christian genocide that we are talking about. So BBC have been able to validate that the Biafran people, the indigenous people of Biafra, they are the ones that Nigerian terrorist government have been using these terrorists to massacre and to commit the genocide. That is one fact that they have established. Number two, Inter-Society has been accused by Nigerian military of being linked to IPOB, but the NGO has denied any connection. This is how useless BBC is. Inter-Society of Nigeria is just making their report. They do research and then they report based on people that they kill, based on report that they gather. Inter-Society of Nigeria is also the body that were able to gather the information about the Obibo massacre. They are the people that have also been able to gather the information about the massacre that Hope Lesusodima carried out in Biafra land and many other places of Biafra. Without Inter-Society of Nigeria giving this report, you will not have any evidence. So BBC inadvertently are helping us to explain and to even give evidence for the Biafran cause without them knowing. And then coming down here, BBC made us to understand that another Biafran separatist group has also acclaimed to have played a key role in promoting the Christian genocide narrative in the US Congress. They said the Biafra Republic government in exile. Hey, described it as a highly orchestrated effort, saying it had hired lobbying firms and met with US officials, including Cruz. See where the thing choked them there. So when you look at what is on the screen, this is BBC crying and acknowledging Biafra Republic government in exile and what they are doing. So tomorrow or next tomorrow, when we come back, we will open more of the reportage that are explaining how the Biafran people played key roles in making sure the designation of Nigeria come to play. So, we appreciate Biafrans and we appreciate everyone that are doing what they have done and making it happen. Please continue to do more and don't miss tomorrow's fundraising, please. We beg of you. We need all of you. We need all of you in the fundraising tomorrow. And stay away from one Nigeria terrorist election. Yes. Stay away from one Nigerian terrorist election, please, so that you don't become a victim of what will happen tomorrow. We appreciate all of you, and we call on everyone to please join the fundraising tomorrow and let us make it happen. We need every support. We need every support from everyone. Join the fundraising tomorrow and make it happen. Nobody will come to do it for us, but we have to do it for ourselves, and we have to tell our own stories. I appreciate all of you, and from me, from here, it is good evening, and good night, and good morning to all of you. Ndewo.
Abdurrahman Dambazo met with the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria in Kebbi State, offering them the sum of 100 billion naira over 2 years to stop the kidnapping in the country. The meeting lasted over 4 hours on Friday as negotiations dragged on, with the association initially asking for 160 billion naira. The minister said that the strategy was part of the steps needed to tackle insecurity in the country as prescribed by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The headsman crisis has risen since 2015 after Muhammad Buhari became president. Their rampage has spread not only in the north but also throughout the southern zones of the country. The killings by the headsmen has led them to be tagged the fourth most dangerous and deadly terrorist group in the world by the World Terror Index. The acting Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, who was also at the meeting in Kebbi State, added that over 1,000 people have been killed and many more kidnapped in Kaduna. However, he said that this intervention was necessary to bring the criminals to book. The Kebbi State Governor Atiku Bagudu said hosting the meeting in his state shows the seriousness of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration in tackling the security challenges in the country. Responding, the president of the association, Alhaji Muhammad Kirua, said the meeting would serve as a foundation for peace between the Fulani headsmen and farmers and among Fulanis themselves. Roots TV, Nigeria. The federal government, led by the Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazo, met with the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria in Kebbi State, offering them the sum of 100 billion naira over 2 years to stop the kidnapping in the country. The meeting lasted over 4 hours on Friday as negotiations dragged on, with the association initially asking for 160 billion naira. The minister said that the strategy was part of the steps needed to tackle insecurity in the country as prescribed by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The headsman crisis has risen since 2015 after Muhammad Buhari became president. Their rampage has spread not only in the north but also throughout the southern zones of the country. The killings by the headsmen has led them to be tagged the fourth most dangerous and deadly terrorist group in the world by the World Terror Index. The acting Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, who was also at the meeting in Kebbi State, added that over 1,000 people have been killed and many more kidnapped in Kaduna. However, he said that this intervention was necessary to bring the criminals to book. The Kebbi State Governor Atiku Bagudu said hosting the meeting in his state shows the seriousness of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration in tackling the security challenges in the country. Responding, the president of the association, Alhaji Muhammad Kirua, said the meeting would serve as a foundation for peace between the Fulani headsmen and farmers and among Fulanis themselves. Roots TV, Nigeria. The federal government, led by the Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazo, met with the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria in Kebbi State, offering them the sum of 100 billion naira over 2 years to stop the kidnapping in the country. The meeting lasted over 4 hours on Friday as negotiations dragged on, with the association initially asking for 160 billion naira. The minister said that the strategy was part of the steps needed to tackle insecurity in the country as prescribed by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS.